Good morning. Welcome to this morning's Wuxing Long Pai Qigong, Taijiquan and Baguazhang. My name is Jeff Cote, and I am the Occidental Taoist. It's still a lovely day out here today, despite being late October. And so I'm really glad we're able to enjoy these outdoor practices for a little bit longer. And I hope you take the advantage of this great weather to still, kind of get outside and gather some of that life force. So we're going to start feet roughly shoulder width parallel. With a good Jan Zhuang or basic post-standing posture. Align your center line. Place your awareness in your lower dantian. Get that bowl shape of the pelvis to directly get below that center line in the middle dantian. Relax the low back. Elongate that central channel. Relax the right and left sides down to the ball and socket joints of the hips. Be soft and buoyant in your legs. Have your weight going straight down into the triangles of the feet. Relax the shoulders, relax the chest. Start with just a good basic stance. Hands on the lower dantian, working with the breath, compressing into the dantian on the inhale. And bring the hands out in front. And counter swing. Column swing. I'm hoping by now that you've been through a number of these with me. If you haven't, go look at some of my others and start to pay attention to all the little details. You know, and here I'm always paying attention to these right and left channels as I'm doing this column swing and how I'm generating energy and power through the action of the legs and the whole body and expansion and return. When joining with gravity, getting that feeling of the downward flow, participating in the action and me participating with it and borrowing its force and energy, but also the idea of centralization, where my hands are coming back, they're moving towards my center, and they're moving away from my center. So everything is centralized and unified. I'm not just standing here just swinging my arms, although I'm just standing here swinging my arms, but I'm doing it with my whole being, leaving no gaps, utilizing all the capacities that I can find within my body, how I generate power and having it participate in the movement of the hands and arms. And counter column swing. and close. The Ling Kong Jing today. Well, remember, we're always trying to imagine as if there's resistance. Somebody has a hold of the wrist, or we're in water and there's resistance. And I'm trying to stay as relaxed as I can, but still use my whole body to counter and neutralize that resistance. So if I feel like something were pulling on my wrist, I'm relaxing, connecting that pull to the ground so that I'm neutralizing that resistance into the earth. And up at the chest. reversing direction. Don't check out here. Stay with this idea of the resistance, your whole body, but staying relaxed. Any resistance you encounter, you're transferring into the ground. Up at the chest. Yeah. Hands or some fingers. Other way. elbows. Other way. And shoulders. Pause and hold this posture. Elbows under, shoulders relaxed, outreach and receive. Down. And reverse. Opening and closing the shoulders and chest. Trunk twist from the center. Patting the daimai. sides of the leg, insides, down the outside front, inside front, down the back, and up the inside. Waist rotations. Circling the diamond, just letting your awareness move right around that waist, that girdling vessel. The other way. And bring your awareness down to the ball and socket joints of the hips. Widen the feet. Let that ball and socket joint pull to open, and then articulate around its axis, the axis of the femur, as it comes into the ball and socket joint of the hip. And the other way. And the other leg. The other way. And moving them both together. Feeling the pelvic floor and the kind of connection between those two ball and socket joints and all the fascia that comes up and connects inside and frames this lower dantian. The other way. Alternating between the two ball and socket joints. Rotation here. Rotation here. Always within the context of taking the power of the leg and its rotational power, putting it into the triangle of the foot even. And then the other one. Shake out your legs. Patting the legs. Friction rubbing the knee. The other leg. And friction rubbing the knee. Feet together, small circles. The other way. And deep bends. And shake it out. Ankle and hip. Shift to one leg. Rotating the ankle and hip. And the other way. Brushing the grass. Way. Leg up and out. To the side. And behind. Cross under and behind. Crossing the legs. Center line nice and upright. And turn the spine. Up. Bring the knee up. Heel back, knee down. Knee back, hip forward. Out and around. And open the hip. Check it out. Other side. Ankle and hip. Other way. Foot and ankle. Other way. Brushing the grass. Other way. Behind. The other way. Leg up and out. Onto the side. And back. Here. That's fine. And back up. Knee to the chest. Knee down, heel back. Knee back, hip forward. Out and around. Rotate the hip up. Check it out. Legs straight, roughly shoulder width. Elongate the spine, lift the sacrum, and fold at the waist. Flatten the back. Try to press those knees back. Just slowly let yourself open up the back and the sacrum and hamstrings. Extend that tailbone and the top of the head away from each other. Just working your way down nice and relaxedly, not in a rush. Sometimes from here, work my feet in a little bit more. And then a little bit more. Turn to one side. And the other side. Feels different when your feet closer together, doesn't it? And it's called wagging the dog's tail, where you put your hands here, back and forth. It's different. It feels different from the dragon circle the paw. Sometimes I like to change things up. Back and forth. And I'm going to widen back out and do 2 dragon circles. Back to the center and squat stance. Nice and upright. Try to keep that center line up. Inguinal stretch. Place the hands down and stretch those hips open. Just settle down into it. Relax into those hips. You can rock forward, those hips forward back a little bit. That helps to work the stretch, or left and right. Up and let the weight down. Back up. And dragon spine. Three fudgings. Rolling those right and left channels in and then out. Out. Or around and then down. And then shaking back and forth. Now, we've talked a little bit about heaven palm and earth palm, and I want to discuss that a little bit today, right? And the energies of them. Heaven palm are working with these right and left channels, rotating, spiraling up and down, and it is about up and down energy, right? Exchange between heaven and earth. This is heaven palm, and the yang expression of heaven palm is up and out. The yin expression of heaven palm is down and in, rotating in and pressing down. There's always this element of grip and up. Up and down cannot be separated. When I'm going, I'm pressing down. When I'm going down, there's an extension up. So I inhale and sink towards the center line. Exhale and expand. Inhale, exhale. Learning to get the legs behind this expansion and this expansion. Okay. Now, you can have them working opposite. Notice the outside hand as it comes down. It's coming down on the outside. Inside hand is coming up on the inside. But it doesn't have to be. I want you to be able to do either. See? When it comes from below and comes up, the yang becomes dominant. Get that? Heaven palm dominant, up. Yang palm. Yang palm. Then when it's here, the yin palm is first. It's dominant, and then the yang palm comes out of it. Yin palm first, yang palm out of it. Yin palm first, yang palm out. And we're trying to feel these spirals of the right and left chin. It doesn't have to be sort of rigid and linear. You can soften. You notice I've got to shift back and forth as well. I can go linear and just twist along the center line, and I can shift a little bit back and forth. Each one begins to change the dynamic. And if you start doing it, you must, the most important part is to be conscious and aware that you are doing it. Are you staying in the center, or are you shifting? Why? Are you doing it to avoid, or are you doing it because it has a more natural power? If it has a more natural power, why? What's more natural? In what scenario? Where is the power more natural? If you're doing it the other way, staying in the center, for example, where does it concentrate the energy and power? How does this energy and power move through you? What does it reveal about the holding patterns in your body? What does it feel about flow? All of these things, every single practice we have is set up to just explore movement in another way and explore dynamics of power and energy with our body and our mind-body complex, both intention, intentionality, chi, and li. You know, how the muscles are actually acting, the sinew, all of it. And we want to try to reduce the amount of muscular power we're putting behind something. At the same time, we want it to be present and engaged with the process, because they're the sinews through which power is going to transfer. Okay. And you know, it doesn't matter whether we're doing this for health, or we're doing it for martial skill, or we're doing it for internal power, or we're doing it to train the mind, spirit, about just to train it in general and focus. It is the tool by which we are examined, and our goals change with who we are, and what our intentions are in our practice. I like to practice with all of those things in mind. Okay? At the same time, at various times, you may find yourself emphasizing an element over another, and that's okay. See how it feels different? This one, when it comes up from below first on the outside, you can have this feeling of slipping, almost as though it's what encourages the side-to-side shift. Whereas when we stay here, this one encourages centralization. There's still a side-to-side shift if you want it, but it seems to be almost pointless. This has more value as it concentrates the energy into the spiral. One of the keys here is to feel on each side this spiral, like as I shift and turn, this spiral expansion into the ground and this spiral expansion into the arm that has a lifting energy, right? And then a sinking energy. Lift and sink. Lift, sink. Lift, sink. Lift, sink. Lift, sink. Lift, sink. Lift, sink. It's heaven palm. Earth palm is around. It's around the sphere. It's working around the idea of this outer sphere, the sphere of my personal space, and the ability of the body to move around that sphere in various ways, whether that's here, here, or here. Feel that distinctively different. Feel the difference between that and heaven palm. Even if I'm going up and down, even if I'm palm out, very different from heaven palm. Very different from heaven palm, even if it's palm out. Heaven palm. Heaven palm seems to come towards the center line and out. Right? If you thought of the being as a torus, right? The idea of that hollow center, circular on the outside, hollow in the center. Earth palm is the outer edge, circling around the outer edges. Heaven palm is the flow through the center, whether that center is going this way or this way. Okay? So keep that in mind. I'm going to play with this earth palm now. Around front and back. Turning the palms out as I do this. All of this is still all earth palm. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Swimming Dragon Taiji set, Wuxing Long Pai. I'm sorry, not the swimming, the Formless Dragon. Swimming Dragon is the final set. Sorry. I want to start from the very beginning. And I want you to see where you can feel the qualities. Now, don't think about hand position or anything. What I want you to feel is the essential energy and quality and nature of the movement of heaven palm and earth palm, or heaven palm rather, yin and yang, and earth palm, yang and yin. And I want you to feel in this basic set of 8, the first 8 of the form, where each of those energies exists, where you're manifesting each of those energies so you can feel it. And then you can become familiar with how it flows through you, okay? And the qualities of yin and yang in that. So we're going to start feet together, central equilibrium. Sleeping dragon awakens to find the root. Taiji beginning. Deflecting left. Roll back. Mortal pounds of mortar. Split and open. Cross the hands. Look to the right. Squeeze and press. Push. Two dragons seal the gate. Roll the pearl and hook with crane spin. Bump. Single whip. Catch. Pull down. Deflect right. Press. Step. And turn on the heel. The mortal pounds of mortar. Taiji reverse. Deflecting right. And left. Roll back. Mortal pounds of mortar. Split right. And cross the hands. And look to the left. Squeeze and press. And two dragons seal the gate. Roll the pearl and hook with crane spin. Bump. Single whip. Catch. Pull down. Deflect left. step. Turn on the heat. Immortal pounds the mortar. And close. Now, I'm guessing there's a couple places where it's very easy to find that, the heaven palm and the earth palm. In fact, the first place where you encounter both of them is in deflecting left and right. Here, we've got this hand is doing heaven palm, and this hand is doing earth palm. Then this one becomes earth palm, and this one becomes heaven palm. And learning to find that transition, part of what we're trying to do is feel the essential nature of the movement and have it change not out here, but in here first, so that we learn to make the transformation in our engendering of the action itself. Okay. So in order to do that, let's take a look, and we're going to use this deflecting left and right as an example because it's such a perfect one, because both are manifested simultaneously on different sides of the body. All right, so we're going to play around with this heaven palm on this right side, and then the transformation into earth palm. And just really pay attention to this right side and what happens here. We've got heaven palm, as we shift and turn, and then earth palm. Now that fits perfectly with the yin and yang expression, because of course heaven palm is more yang, earth palm is more yin. And here, we're expansive. The leg is expanding, the arm is expanding, and then it's receptive. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't have the pung or expansive component, that containment. In fact, earth palm is a perfect expression of that. So you can't lose that. The heaven palm is the impetus of action from inside to out, but the earth palm is the maintenance of that personal energetic space. Okay? So we've got that's what the right side's doing. The left side, meanwhile, is earth, heaven. And you feel it has to kind of like be drawn towards the center line to express in that yang way, right? Well, as it does so, this one is softening to receive that energy. So we've got, here we had heaven palm. We're going to focus on this earth palm. So we want a feeling of the sphere of the center expanding first, not the arm. It's coming from the center. Then it's drawn into the center and up and out. Let's do that again. I'm giving you a lot of this. Eventually you want to reduce that until there's less and less up and down, and it's more just a shift side to side. One more time with that yin palm, the left side. Now let's put that together, both sides. Try that again. That was an example of how we can take each move and do that. Now, what you should do is try to find that in all the other moves. Is there a heaven palmer and earth palmer? And just look for where they naturally manifest. Don't try to force them. Just look for where they manifest. Then play around with emphasizing each one. Find it in the move. Then freeform it again. Let it go back to a little bit more like amorphous and natural or watery like, and see if you can manifest it without trying so hard. Right? And that's what we're trying to do, is learning how to manifest these different energies in different positions in different ways. And all of that just creates option and pliability and free flow. Right? Chi and close. Trisha, thank you for joining me today. And today's Wuxing Long Pai Qigong, Baguazhang, and Taiji class. You can see us intermingling a little bit of the Bagua with Taiji here now, and Qigong is, of course, basic staple on which everything is built. If you have questions, send me a note. You can find me here on Facebook at the Occidental Taoist, my Patreon page, that's patreon.com/Occidental Taoist. If you'd like to help donate for a single class or anything like that, you go to my coffee page, that's ko-fi.com/Occidental Taoist, or you can become a member of my Patreon page, become a patron. And some of those start at like $5 a month, and you get access to certain videos, and each tier gives you access to more and more exclusive content. All right. Thank you very much. May you have many blessings of radiant health and a peaceful, happy heart. Shushan.